Hey everyone, as always, Dylan from Miller Prospecting. And I know the name has changed. If you really want to know why, click the little link here. I should put it in another video on why I changed the name from goldpaydirtreviews.com to Miller Prospecting. If you don't care, don't click that little button right there. And just let's watch the rest of this video. So today I am super excited. Not only is this my first review back since my knee surgery, but this is a Paydirt I've been trying to get for about the last year and a half with no luck. And the reason being is this seller does not sell to anyone he thinks is going to review his Paydirt. But there's another reason I'm super excited about this, is this reviewer is one of the reasons why I do such detailed reviews. But I'll get into that in a minute. First, let me tell you who this is. This is EurekaProspecting.com.au. It's an Australian seller, really hard to get. He sells these bags once a month. He puts up usually 10 to 20 bags, and they sell out within 10 minutes. So they're extremely hard to get. It's a 200-gram bag. There's no set amount of gold, but he does guarantee you will find gold, just not how much. It costs 35 AUD or $27.43 USD. Shipping was $9 AUD or $7.05 USD. Now this is shipping to Australia, and I'll get into that in a second as well. So, but the total cost was 44 AUD or in US dollars, $34.48. And I've decided I am going to review this as if I was an Australian buyer, because it really isn't fair, because the shipping from Australia to the United States is so horrible and so expensive that if I use that shipping, his ROI, no matter what I got, would be just horrible. And it's really not fair to him, since 90% of his customers are going to, probably even higher than that, probably 99% of his customers are going to be in Australia. So that's what they're going to pay. So I'm going to base this review off of the regular shipping he charges, flat fee to anyone in Australia, because that's where primarily his customer is going to be. So let's get into it. And I will say, when I originally got this, I was really upset because he had this wrapped in plastic and I could not see that it was in this bag. And in the picture on his website, it has this bag, and I was really disappointed because I was like, oh man, I really wanted the bag, because that's part of the fun. You know, these cool bags. This is a really cool bag. And I already looked at this note in here, so I already know what it is. It is just his description that he has on his website, which is a really detailed description. Get into that when the final review. But there you go. It is 200 grams. I weighed it up. It was 210 grams total. So let's classify this down. There's not very much material here. One of his things is he says he doesn't want to sell people large amounts of Paydirt with, you know, just a little bit of gold. So, but one of the things I am going to be doing a little bit different in this video is with my classifications also. Usually I do classifications with the screen sizes of 10, 20, and 30. But I've noticed in almost all of my videos, the minus 20 plus 30 is usually the least amount of Paydirt I have. So I'm going to change it to a 10, a 20, and a 40 screen classification, because I want to see if I can try to get them a little bit more based on how difficult the Paydirt would be, because, you know, plus 10 is pretty easy to get the gold out of. The minus 20 plus 30 is also not too hard, but it's when you get to the really small stuff that's really more difficult. So I figure about minus 40 is where a lot of people are going to start having problems finding gold. So this one's just going to be an experiment. I might go back next week, next review, who knows. Just going to see. You know, it doesn't really hurt too much. It won't hurt the review. It's just going to change up. You know, I can see how difficult this Paydirt is. So there we go for the 10, plus 10. Pretty good amount for the plus 10. Now let's do this 20. So it is fairly dusty material. Not horrible though. So I don't expect to get too much trouble out of this with my water. I mean, plus then there's not a lot. Again, this is only 200 grams. All right. So this is going to be the minus 10 plus 20. Make sure I get all that out of there. And now for the minus 20 plus 40. in the minus 40. All right. Let's see how that does come. So there you go. That's what we get. It seems to really be based, this Paydirt has majority of it in the larger, and it seems to work its way down to the smaller. Now this seller, one of the things I will say all about this seller is, this is their description of what you'll find. We guarantee each bag of Paydirt contains gold, sapphires, zircons, amethyst, and crystals. It may also contain diamonds, garnets, topaz, cassiterite, citrine, molybdenite, devil's dice, pyrites, mica, and magnetite. So this stuff is supposed to be loaded with stuff. 90% of what I just said, I have no idea what that stuff is, or even if I could find it. But I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to go knock out some of this Paydirt, come back, show you all the gold I get, and hopefully some gems and stuff. I don't know, my son's not here. It's the middle of the day, so I don't have my expert with me. But let's find out what we get. Wow, that was fun. I mean, I gotta tell you, this was the perfect bag to come back to. I had a blast with it. Did find gold. I did not find anything in the plus 10, but in the minus 10 plus 20, did find 2 little pieces. But in the description, it does say most of the gold you're gonna find here is gonna be in the smaller. And then in the minus 20 plus 40, I found about 70, 80 pieces. But the vast majority of this, again, is in the minus 40, a lot of it. And because of that, this would definitely not be a beginner's bag, but it was pretty easy to pan out. There was really not very much black sands. I know I didn't show y'all with the magnet earlier. I'm a little rusty here. So, but there only was a very small amount in the minus 40. I mean, not much. But one of the great things about this bag is the minerals. I mean, it's just chock full of it. I mean, I'll show you some of these things. I have no idea what any of these are, but it's just loaded. I mean, this is just a sample. I mean, there is so much of this stuff. Most of it, again, was in probably the minus 10 plus 20. I'm sure there was some in below that, but it's so small at that point that I don't think it would have any value. But the one great thing about this bag is now I'm gonna be able to give it to my son, dry it up again, and then I will allow him to go through it so he can I'll add these gems back in, and he will be able to go in there and find all the wonderful gems he wants. All right, so I'm gonna go finish, make sure this is all the way dry, and then we'll do the weigh up and the review. So be right back. All right, everybody, it is all dried up. I did weigh it up, and I almost just spilled it. All right, so that is it. Let me zoom in. Here, I just. Some beautiful, lot of fine gold, as I showed you before. So again, this is from eurekaprospecting.com.au. It's an Australian seller. It's a 200-gram bag. There was no set amount of gold, but gold was guaranteed. And this stuff is, again, as I said, super hard to come by. He sells out within minutes. He usually does 1 day a month where he just puts a few bags up and first come, first serve, and he always sells out. And he also is notorious for finding out who are buying it and not shipping it to people like me who are going to review it. Actually, one of my subscribers bought it for me and then shipped it to me, and I want to give him a huge thank you and a huge shout out, but I won't say his name because I don't want to get him banned, because this was some great Paydirt. And one of the things I will say about this seller is one of the reasons why I do these reviews where I have a rating system and not just an ROI. About 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago, he emailed me, rather not too nice email, telling me what I was doing was an injustice to sellers, basing everything off the ROI and this and that. And I really took it to heart. I mean, just like the comments I get here, I try to change my channels up. I really listen to everybody. And he was right, because a lot of bags I buy just because they're a lot of fun, even if the ROI wasn't great. So, and that's why I started doing all these reviews with the rating system. So it's because of him that I have this. So, that's the way that is. So let's get back to it. The cost of this bag was 35 AUD. The shipping was $9 AOD for a $45 total, which in American US dollars is $34.48. Total gold recovered 0.301 grams. Gold spot as of today is $42.30 a gram. Gold value $12.73. But I gotta tell you, even though that's low, there are a ton of minerals in this stuff, and I'm sure some of them are worth money. So I'm sure that ROI would be higher if I was looking for those other things. But you know, I base all this off just the gold. But I'm also going to base my fun factor and everything else off of what I found, and that stuff was amazing. Again, this is not only did I get to go through it, but once I dry it up, my son will get to go through this again. So ROI is 36.92%. So on my system, that's a 3.7. The fun factor was definitely a ton. I mean, I really love this stuff. I want to buy one of his $100 bags now. But unfortunately, I'm sure he's going to be even more careful not to sell to me. So, but it was great. I mean, tons of minerals. It was a really different experience. I haven't had a bag like that ever. So it was awesome. Paydirt description, 10. This seller has a very detailed description, which I love. I'm going to start being really hard on sellers about descriptions, because this seller, he actually tells you the majority of what you're going to find is flour gold. So if you're a novice, this probably wouldn't be for you unless you just want the minerals. But then again, he tells you all the minerals you'll find in there. So you could say, hey, look, it's a trade-off. You know, I might not find all the really fine gold, but I'll find all these wonderful minerals in there. So it's really great that he does a great description. It's wonderful. Now, I've condensed the Paydirt quantity and packaging into one, and he's going to get a score of a 9. The quantity was a 10. And the packaging, I gave him an 8 for the packaging. So grand total was a 9. Customer service and shipping, a 10. You know, it was wonderful. Even though he sent me an email that wasn't so nice a couple of years ago, it really got me to thinking and really made these reviews better. So, and since then, I didn't email him as me, so otherwise he might not have been so nice, but it was a 10. The shipping to the buyer who bought it was super fast. So that was a 10. Total score for EurekaProspecting.com AU's 200 grand bag was an 8.5. And I really like this stuff. Now, it's not going to be something that you're going to get rich off. If you're just looking for a recovery of investment, this probably isn't the bag for you. But if you're looking for something really, really fun, something really, really different, this might be for you. So thanks again, everyone. Glad to be back. I'm going to have another review up in a couple of days. Thanks as always. Make sure you leave a like button, hit the like button, leave comments, share it, and all those wonderful things.